One of the things that's happening with my bike is that every time I hit, or at least I pedal really hard, there is a snapping sound in the crank. So I'm going to remove this and see what is happening. There we go. Actually, one of the things that might be is that this was a little bit. So make sure that this bolt is tight. It was actually kind of loose, but we'll pull this out. There we go. So I noticed that when I was riding this bike on the CO Canal, it was like cranking. It was making like a clanking noise from the bottom bracket. At least that's what I assume it is. So I'm going to remove these dust caps. This one was actually kind of tight on there. There we go. This is a crank puller, and it's got some threads, and I'm going to pull it in here. The chain is still on there, so that means that you have to kind of work around the chain. But if you just do this, I actually have two of these. There we go. And now this part, we're going to pull out that crank. And I'm just going to re-grease everything. There we go. Now this should pull the crank out. Usually you don't have to tap it, but there we go. So that's the crank, the right side crank. There we go. To remove this, there's like teeth on the tool, and on the right side it actually turns to the right. I loosened this up already, and I use this big tool. You need a lot of leverage for this. You're gonna have to hold the other one so that tightens. Right actually loosens. It's the opposite. And I see it's greased, but no, we don't even need this anymore. There we go. So that's the bottom bracket. There's actually a bearing out, and that might be the reason. There we go. That's probably the reason, having this bearing out of there. And there we go. These are the bearings. What I'm going to do is clean the old grease from inside. And it does have plenty of grease, but you just don't know the status of the grease. You could also use brake cleaner to do this. Moly paste. It's for metal. I believe they don't even make it anymore. So this is a much better thing than the one that most people put in. It's very expensive. So once you pack in the grease, you can start putting in the bearings again. They should just kind of slide in there. Then afterwards, you can clean it again. A cloth, and try and clean all the debris. There's actually quite a bit of gunk here. A lot is just from collecting dirt over the years. This bike is fairly old, but I want to be able to get rid of everything that's here. Now we have the lock nut. I believe it's the flat part like this. Fit the bottom bracket. There we go. So that should start threading. You might have to their side. There we go. So now it's right, I believe. No, it's the opposite actually. It's this way, left. Keep forgetting that. There we go. I believe this is the correct way. Yep. Keep that in mind. On the right side, you do left. So you have to hold on to that spindle. There we go. Left side, we have the lock nut. This is like a safety thing. And just kind of fit it onto this left side. For the left crank, just make sure that it's a complete opposite. I've actually made this mistake before. And now take one of the bolts, I've re-greased them already. And make sure that you might want to clean the chain as well. Sometimes it's a good idea. So I'm just going to make sure I fit it in. Chain is on. And I think we're good. So we just need to put on our bolts, and that's going to put the crank back in. Then we can take it for a short test ride and see if it still makes that noise. Alright, so that's pretty much on there. I'm going to put it on the chain. And that's pretty much it. It shouldn't make any more noise in the bottom bracket. I'm just going to take it for a spin. And that's it. If you need to remove your bottom bracket, that's how you do it. You do need specific tools, but other than that, it's a very easy job. The only reason I'm sweating is because it's 100 degrees out, but it's a very easy, quick job. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.